Hello guys, Bashar here. We are again together with another Grim Dawn video. This time I want to talk about hardcore mode, guys. I mean, most of you will probably be playing the regular or the softcore mode. And in hardcore mode, as you know, death is permanent. If you die once, your character becomes inaccessible. So I want to try the hardcore mode, guys, and I have some suggestions for you. First of all, go for a tanky build, guys. I mean you should not go for a high risk high reward build. I mean, you can, of course, but it's dangerous, right? I mean, one mistake and you are dead. So as you can see, my character is extremely tanky here, 23k HP. My normal softcore builds were around 15k, 16k, something like that. I mean, 23k is very tough. And also my armor is insane. As you can see here, almost 4000. I mean, regular characters have like, and the absorption is 100%. Normal characters have much lower, maybe 1.5k or so. And so I will make a separate video for the build. So I will go into some stuff that I want to share with you guys. First of all, guys, nothing is shared between softcore and hardcore mode. So if you have just played softcore mode and have everything there, in hardcore you will have nothing, or vice versa. I mean, you will not have access to the writs, the mandates, the savior's merits. I mean, your crafting materials, your crafting recipes. I mean, you will have access to none of it. So leveling will be quite troublesome. And if you have played a bit of softcore, guys, you might be taking some things for granted, because it happened to me. For example, normally the bits are not a problem. As you can see, I have a fair amount, but it was a very, very annoying thing for me at some point, because you keep lacking bits, guys. Because, I mean, you grind the reputation up. At honored, you want to buy the mandates for bonus reputation, but they cost 88k. And there are a lot of more than 10 factions, which means you have to spend around $1 million to get the writs for all factions. Moreover, guys, your stash is also the same way. I mean, you have to spend more than 500k to unlock your own private stashes, and a little bit more to unlock the shared stashes. So that's also some money spent. Or you also have to spend a lot of money on the recipes that the factions sell you. So my suggestion is to keep up collecting yellows for a while, guys. I mean, I was doing it like this with what I normally do in softcore, and at some point I realized it's just not gonna work out. I have to pick up yellows in order to have enough to have a functional character. Because, guys, for example, I was in the process of crafting a relic, but I just did not have enough bits to get the relic done, because as you know, the relics require some other relics and some items which require bits to craft, and more, and the components on your items also require bits to craft. So like I said, keep picking up yellows for a while, and make sure you get the writs as soon as you hit honored, so you can hit revered faster. And make sure you check the faction sold items, if they are good for you or not. You can just buy them and use them. what else? And make sure you use a component and an augment on your gear. I mean, because like I said, you will not have the excellent gear. Also guys, if you have Forgotten Gods, you will have access to a very nice ring that gives you XP bonus. I think that's the one, yeah. I mean, and it can be instant equipped. So just beat the Warden, then you will have access to Forgotten Gods. And in order to pick it up, you have to go here, Temple of Osir, and there is a hidden shrine up north, and there you find, this is ultimate by the way, yeah, my character is focused on, as you can see, like I said, it's extremely tough. I don't remember how this, I always do this, yeah. The good thing is, even though I don't remember, it just is extremely strong. I mean, by the way, by strong I mean tough. It's not actually extremely strong. Killing takes ages. Okay. Let's go. So here is the hidden area, guys. You can rotate the screen to see it better. See, there's a passage here. Okay. And there's the shrine here. And here is the urn that contains the ring. See? I mean, by the way, you can get it only once per difficulty. I didn't get it on ultimate. I did it on normal and elite. So if you wear both of these, they will provide you with 6% XP gain. You can get some more from your medal, which is nice. Of course, at some point you would have to replace this. Make sure your resistances are always all capped. I mean, I went for additional elemental resistances to make my character tougher. As you can see here, 89%, because some bosses deal additional fire damage, and with 89% resist, you are very tough. So is there any other suggestion? So make sure you pick up all the lore notes, guys. That's very important, because, and try to do that in normal, because I mean, they give you fixed XP. Even if you pick it in ultimate, it will give the same amount of XP. And make sure you are tough enough to take on the boss. I mean, the elites and bosses before the end game bosses will tell you if you are lacking in toughness or not. Lack of damage doesn't really matter, because there is no enrage mechanic or anything, guys. I mean, if you can just tank them, it's fine. I mean, I can go to the end game boss now and I will just tank him fine. My damage output is horrible, but the idea is to be able to kill them. And normally, guys, this build is not that bad. The problem is I don't really have access to my stuff in softcore, so I built this character from the ground up. So try to make a character that uses faction sold gear or easily accessible gear. Because, I mean, if you have a very high functioning character with the proper gear, though, that would totally fail in here, right? Because you would not have that gear. And for example, the Conjure vitality damage build that I have showed you guys, which is extremely strong, but he requires a lot of gear, guys. I mean, you cannot just equip him with the stuff you find while playing. I mean, that would be very weak, because like I said, that character uses very specific stuff. So go for a more generic character who is quite tough, guys. Make sure you max your resistances always, and for additional toughness you can get some additional max tests. For example, as you can see, I have 3% extra piercing resistance, 3% extra vitality resistance, 9% extra elemental resistances. So that's, let me see. As for the reputation, well, stay away from nemesis monsters unless you are sure that you can take care of it, because nemesis monsters are pretty tough and they do a lot of damage, which means they can take you down. Grind all the reputations up until revered, and you will lack the component recipes as well. For example, as you can see, I don't have Ugdenbog leather here, but anti-venom salve, which means I am actually losing out on a 20% bleed resistance, because that's what it does. And you will have to grind a lot of battle shell, guys. Make sure you do not skip, when leveling, make sure you do not skip areas that drop battle shells. For example, the insect nests in Twin Falls and Old Arkovia, and the bug areas in the rotting croplands. Like I said, battle shells will be very, very strict. Guys, a lot of stuff will require battle shells or frozen hearts. You can convert them into each other and vice versa, and you will keep lacking them. I once had to go and grind them for like 2 hours or so, because some components will require a lot of those. For example, this component that I'm using here, the bladed plating that I'm using here, requires like 16 or so battle shells. So 48 components, guys. So it takes quite a bit of time to grind. That's about it for my advice on hardcore. I think I'll think again if there's anything. Yeah, make a tough character. There's actually one thing that's very important, guys. In order to level faster, prioritize Malmut resistance reputation, because Malmut resistance reputation sells you 100% increased XP gain potions, guys. That's extremely important. Yeah, you can hit it at level 80s or so. Let me show you. Or let me not show you and let the computer load for ages. Yes, okay, thank you for loading. So there it is. Where is it? It's here, guys. So 1 hour duration, 100% increased XP gain, and after that you can just let go of whatever XP gear you are wearing and go for the real defensive stuff. When I was leveling in normal mode, guys, I came to this area and I did every single mammoth resistance quest that I could, and after that I did a little bit of bounties to get it to honored. Then when I hit honored, I got 50% increased reputation gain writ, and in elite I just did the quests and I got revered, I think, or maybe I did a few bounties, but it didn't take too much effort. And after being done in elite, I got access to the potions, and finally I was able to spam potions. And guys, in hardcore you don't have to worry about deaths and XP loss, because if you die, the character is deleted anyway. So the potion is basically double XP, which is insane. I mean, you get to 100 faster. But guys, there is also one disadvantage of chasing level 100 as quickly as possible, because the monsters scale. When you get to level 100, the monsters become actually much more powerful, and in the meanwhile you would not be getting much loot because the leveling process is going faster than it should, so you would actually be weaker compared to the monsters. For me, guys, I was very tanky, so the monsters still could not do anything, but I had huge problems killing them. I mean, after hitting level 100 I played a lot, so I'm okay now. Why am I not able to? So let me show you. Yeah, my character is based on retaliation. I mean, my character itself does very little in the way of damage, but when they hit me, I can hit them hard. See guys, for example, a monster takes like a lot of hits to die unless they strike me in melee, but if they strike me in melee, they die pretty quickly. And like I said, this character is hugely missing in gear still, and it was actually much worse. So for example, my boss kills were like 5 minutes, 6 minutes or so. I mean, the boss could do nothing to me, but I kinda was not doing anything to the boss either. I mean, it's your call. You can of course go for a build that's more offensive, but then there's the risk of death, and I managed to do it in my first try. I mean, I started this character and I got him to level 100, and I did I finished the game. I finished the game in Ashes of Malmut. I finished the game in Forgotten Gods. I also did some Shattered Realm as well. So the character can do it, but do not expect it to be fast. I mean, if I could get some more gear, then it would be much faster, of course, but this is still, of course, not an end game here. So these are my hardcore advice for you. So if you're playing it first time, definitely be careful and try to keep your resistance always maxed, guys, because if you have one resistance low, if you encounter that type of damage, which you will at some point, your character's HP will drop much faster than whatever you're used to. Keep your armor absorption at 100 always, because normally your armor absorbs 70% of the damage that you are being dealt in physical. But if you increase it with, where is it? I should have some armor absorption somewhere. I mean, I have a passive, I know. It's just the passive then? Yeah, there's a passive here. Yeah. Or there is an item modifier. So doesn't really matter, guys. You have to get your armor absorption to 100 and your resistance to max always. There are a lot of augments that you can use, so you will get it to work somehow after getting all the reputations to revered. So grinding the reputations is pretty important, so do not skip on anything, guys. I mean, do the quest, get the reputations, and definitely get the Rit set honored, so you will have access to do augments as quickly as possible, because the classic game augments, for example the ones from Devil's Crossing, Kaimon's Chosen, etc., they provide less resistances when you compare it to the ones you can get from Forgotten Gods and Ashes of Malmut. For example, Kaimon's Chosen, a Kaimon's Chosen augment gives you 7 of each from 2 resistances, but the Ashes of Malmut one, the Malmut resistance one gives you 8 of each, for example. But their level requirement is also higher. Have to keep that in mind. But like I said, guys, try to keep your resistances maxed, or at least near max as possible, because it might be risky. So anyway, like I said, these are my hardcore advices. I will just do another video for the build itself, and you can just copy the build. I mean, I will provide the Grim Tools link as well. Anyways, see you. Bye bye.